I think a lot of people are really interested in what we're doing. They understand how big of an opportunity this is, how big the market is for this, because it's just, absolutely massive. If we're able to kind of change the way buildings are built all around the world, this is a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity, and it's just amazing. And things are going well for us, and we keep kind of hitting all these milestones. So we're getting a lot of buzz and a lot of excitement.
Galiano Tiramani is back. He's the director of Boxabl. Welcome back. Galiano, how are you?
Hey guys, thanks so much for having me. Happy to be back on your show.
You bet. So Galiano, we talked to you about a year ago. It was in February 2021. And I'm just wondering if you could give us an update on what progress you've made from then to now.
A ton of stuff has happened because we're moving really quickly. But in case people aren't aware about what we're all about, check out the website. On the website homepage, you'll see a house that unfolds from a box. And we have a factory here producing a new type of housing that hopefully can have a big impact on housing affordability. So since I last talked to you, I believe we set up this whole factory that's right behind me here. It's 170,000 square feet. And we basically went from, a few prototypes to a fully operating factory where now we're producing about 2 houses per day. We're ramping up and everything's going really well for the business.
Sure. How much does one of your houses cost?
The plan is to retail them for $50,000, and right now we have a really big wait list, so it's going to be a little while before anyone gets any of the houses.
So this is obviously capitalizing on the movement towards tiny homes.
Tiny homes is definitely where we're starting at. We plan to eventually have a building system where different size room modules with different interiors, like a kitchen box or a bathroom box, bedroom box, would all stack and connect to build any different type of house, so that hopefully we could build, 1,000-unit apartment building or a single-family residential, or all the way down to this little casita that you see on our website. It's basically a studio apartment. It's got a kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, and a couch, and it's about 20 feet by 20 feet. And the idea was to start simple with this first product and really perfect it, and that we would target that towards California, where you have these backyard accessory dwelling units that have been kind of legalized in every backyard in the whole state. So there's a huge amount of demand for that product. But what ended up happening was we didn't sell any to California or for any tiny house use cases just yet. The first customer that came in was the United States federal government. So we're just actually finishing up an order for them of about 156 houses that will be finished with, in about a month or so.
The federal government, that's interesting. So is this got like a potential to be sort of like the emergency housing? What's the agency that takes care of everybody when there's a huge disaster?
So that's FEMA.
FEMA.
And we definitely think that it's possible they may be interested to purchase these in the future, because it makes a lot of sense. These would be like rapidly deployable emergency shelters. But the ones who bought it, the current order is the military. So they're using it for military-based housing.
Would you say that one of these casitas is a comfortable place for a couple to live?
Well, it depends how strong the relationship is, because there's only one room.
It's either going to be a deal sealer or a deal wrecker. Is that what you're saying?
I think the idea is that we're just starting with kind of the smallest room in our system. So it's 20 by 20. And the initial configuration of that is a kitchen bathroom. So then probably in this factory, we'll do other 20 by 20s with different interior configurations. And then eventually we'll go on to bigger boxes like 20 by 30, 20 by 40, 20 by 60, at which point you have a really big room. And when you start stacking, connecting, customize that, you can do a lot. But our houses are really durable because we're not using the traditional building methods that you'd see in most of North America, which is wood, nails, lumber framing. If you've ever driven by a job site, we're actually using totally different stuff, and we think it results in a better building. And that means we're outperforming on energy ratings, fire resistance, water resistance. For example, the interior of the unit, if it gets wet, basically it's going to dry off, you're going to clean it, and it's going to be fine. You're not going to end up with damaged sheetrock or rotting wood like you would in a traditional house.
Wow.
The idea, you would place the order, we would ship them out, you would have a site ready to go where you would connect utilities to them, and that's pretty much it, because all the work's kind of done in the factory. So the kitchen, the bathroom, the electrical, the plumbing, the windows, flooring, all of that is done in the factory before it arrives. And that's what's really important about our concept, is that not only are we able to finish everything on an assembly line where it's efficient and we can use automation and have high quality and low cost, but we're also still able to ship it affordably. And that's been the roadblock for existing factory built housing that's been around for many years. It's so expensive for them to ship the buildings because they ship these wide loads that are essentially illegal loads. So the costs are huge, and then they can never ship them far from the factory, and then they can never scale the manufacturing. So they can never really get the efficiencies that you would like to see at a modern factory.
From the investor perspective now, you raised money through Regulation A originally, correct?
We applied with the SEC to get qualified on the Regulation A about 18 months ago, and it's been a grueling process, but finally, the Friday before last, we got qualified on that. And in just about a week, we've brought in $20 million on that one, so it's going very well. And then before the Regulation A, we were raising on Reg D, 506C, and also we did the Reg CF, which allows you to raise $5 million. So before that Reg A, we've closed on about $55 million. So it's really pretty significant as far as crowdfunding goes. And I think a lot of people are really interested in what we're doing. They understand how big of an opportunity this is, how big the market is for this, because it's just, absolutely massive. If we're able to kind of change the way buildings are built all around the world, this is a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity, and it's just amazing. And things are going well for us, and we keep kind of hitting all these milestones. So we're getting a lot of buzz and a lot of excitement.
Mm-hmm. What's the furthest distance for a unit that you've sold that somebody's living in right now?
The initial units that we're selling to the government initially got trucked all the way to Florida. So pretty much as far as you can go across the country, and it still made sense for them. So that was an interesting example. We've also driven them to Washington, D.C. before. We've also driven them actually to Canada. One of the early prototypes that we built, we actually built in Canada. That was a few years ago, though.
I imagine you're going to have several different manufacturing sites as you grow.
We're starting out here in this current building that I'm in right now that's behind me. It's 170,000 feet. We think we can produce probably 10 houses a day here. We've got a few hundred employees right now, and then we're looking forward towards a next factory. So part of what we're planning to use the funds that we're raising for is another factory. And I'm not even talking about another factory this big. I'm talking about something hopefully at least 10 times bigger than this, where we can get, real economies of scale, where we can get significant automation, where we can have, a huge amount of bulk purchasing power and just all the benefits that you get on an efficient factory. So one example I like to use is the automobile makers. So whether it's like Ford or Tesla, these factories put out one car per minute. So we think that our technology will enable us to put out one house per minute. And if we can achieve that, I feel like it's game over, and we've won at that point. Because right now no one can really build enough housing fast enough, and there's just a huge demand for it in the market.
So you've raised $20 million in your first month of the Reg A offering?
First week.
I gotta say, of all the Reg A deals I've ever heard of, that's unprecedented. That's the best I've ever heard of. What do you attribute that success to?
Early on, I kind of figured out how to use social media marketing properly. Like at first I was targeting like traditional press, and then I had someone do a YouTube video for me and saw just great results, like a lot more interest, a lot more emails, a lot more web traffic. And so I said, all right, let's double down on this. And I kept going after social media marketing, and it ended up just becoming a numbers game, getting enough people to see what we were doing. And then also the video we have where the house unfolds, that ended up just going viral a lot organically, because people saw it and they stopped and they watched it and they thought it was cool. So really, we just built up a huge amount of interest. We captured all those leads on the website, and then we remarketed to those leads. So, over this 18 months, while we've been waiting for the SEC to qualify our offering, we've just been, capturing leads, and now we're advertising to them and letting them know, all right, the time has come.
Great to hear that things are going well. Appreciate your time as usual, and we will put that link, if you shoot it to us, in the description of the video, and I'll look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Good stuff. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Appreciate you having me on the show.
Of course. Thanks, Galiano. Bye for now.